Look what you did, you little jerk!
What's going on, Jerk Faces? Welcome to another episode of the Circle of Jerks podcast. Once again, joining us is our Andy, always here.
Yeah.
Forever faithful.
Yeah, just Rob's Andy, no one else's.
Yeah. Yeah. And we another returning guest, Eric, and we are going to be talking about a trilogy of films from that maybe you guys have seen but didn't realize that they were connected together. We are going to be talking about the movies Sicario, Hell or High Water, and Wind River. And we're going to be talking about all three films, kind of maybe some of the connections, and just we have a lot of notes. We got a lot, and these three films are really great, and we felt that they deserved an episode to themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wait, are all three movies? I know
The Tom Sheridan universe,
right?
Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what was it? Were these all written and directed by, or was
No.
Okay.
They were
Only-
written
I
by
know
him.
Wind River
and
Sicario were written and directed. Correct?
No. Wind Rivers is the only one directed by Taylor.
Oh, okay.
And
so
that's
he wrote.
actually his directorial debut.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Wow.
okay.
Oh man,
Yeah.
strong showing.
Yeah, strong showing.
That's his
Strong
Citizen
showing.
Kane.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, so he wrote Sicario and Hell or High Water, but he didn't direct them.
No.
Okay.
So, director of Sicario is actually Denis Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner 2049.
That's
That
Right.
makes sense.
That
That
makes
makes,
sense.
a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That's right.
You can sense that.
Yeah,
There's a
there's
very
some,
similar
some
aesthetic.
visual language.
He's a
there.
good director too.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Mhm.
He also did Arrival, Prisoners,
Mm.
and another one called Enemy. That's really good. Yeah.
So why don't we start off, because Sicario is the first one. Why don't we start off with that one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, do you want to give us a quick synopsis?
Okay. Whoops. Okay, Sicario.
This is what we do normally on Nocturnal Transmissions. Andy gives a little bit of synopsis, and then we kind of
Okay.
dive into the movie.
Cool.
He's pulling that up. But anyways, I would. This was actually your idea, Eric, as you're the one that kind of turned us on to these movies.
You guys had seen them all already, right? Except
Yeah.
Wind River, maybe.
Yeah, except for Wind River.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
seen Hell or High Water, because we did, based off of
You did an
your
episode.
suggestion
Uh-huh.
from a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
I watched that, but I had not seen the other two up until a couple days ago.
Okay.
For this review.
Yeah. What'd you think of Sicario?
Sicario, you're gonna find out here in a second. It's
Yeah.
good. It's just I have some interesting thoughts on it. It's
Cool.
Oh yeah, I got the synopsis here, so let me just give it to you. After rising through the ranks of her male-dominated profession, idealistic FBI agent Kate Macer receives a top assignment. Recruited by a mysterious government official, Matt Graver, Kate joins a task force for the escalating war against drugs, led by the intense and shadowy Alejandro. The team travels back and forth across the U.S.-Mexican border, using one cartel boss to flesh out a bigger one.
Yeah. The one thing with Emily Blunt plays Kate, who she is great. I love Emily Blunt. If we were doing actresses, she'd probably be on my favorite living actresses. She's really good.
She is great. Yeah. She also has a lot of range.
She does.
Yeah. She does horror. She does comedy.
Yeah,
she does
sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Yeah. She's beautiful too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and this Sheridan universe, because Andy and I, we've been watching a lot of westerns recently, and this is kind of a new type of western that Sheridan is doing.
Yeah.
Because all the movies that we're reviewing, they're westerns. They're just a new version of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And this is. I feel like this movie, we're put into Kate's her world, her perspective, and it feels like she's always asking questions. It's like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing? Like, why am I here? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And we as the audience are given just as much information as she is,
Mhm.
and which is not enough. It's really like we barely get anything at all. And that was something I was telling Andy is like she's getting so frustrated. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why am I here? And I felt as an audience member, it's like I felt the same way. Like we're not giving enough information. We really don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And like because we know that there's something going on, that there's something sinister happening that we're not seeing. But we're not privy to it, just like she is. And I felt like that was actually like at first I was like, oh, I don't get this. Like why what's going on? But then I was like, as the movie played out, I was like, oh, I see. It's because she, we are Kate. As the audience, we are meant to be Kate, and we are not meant to know like what's going on because everything's being hidden from her.
Sure.
So stuff is being hidden from us as the audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, even like the briefing before, like when she volunteers for that task force, they come into like the very end of that briefing, and it's like it's like.
Right. And you're talking about their first excursion into Mexico as a collective group.
Right. They go to Juarez.
Yeah, and it's like okay, be safe, everybody.
Right.
Wait. I don't understand what's going on.
Right. So she doesn't even know like what the objective is, like who, why they're even going,
who the target is. Really, it's just we're given almost zero information.
And then she meets Alejandro, Benicio's character, and he's the most mysterious guy.
Yeah.
He gives little tidbits here and there, but she still has no sense of who this guy is.
Right.
But he slowly starts to reveal himself and who he is, and then she finds out what his backstory is.
Yeah.
That he's actually right now he's working outside of law.
Yeah.
The law. But then he used to uphold it. He used to be a prosecutor.
Right.
Yeah. And what ends up becoming kind of the tragedy of the story almost is that they're not getting her because of her expertise or like her skills.
They're using her.
They're just using her as like, oh well, we just need you so that everything's
she's
legally
a technicality. Yeah.
And that's why she's given zero information.
Yeah. They don't need her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they don't specifically need her. They need her though
as an excuse to go in
because she's an FBI agent, and she's
and I think
like
the reason
the only one with the authority to operate within the United States, as opposed because what is it, Josh Brolin's character Grave, and Alejandro, and that other the Donovan guy.
Jeremy Don. What's his name? I have it here.
Yeah.
Steve Forsing.
Yeah. Steve Forsing. Yeah. They're giving off like
I love
mad spook vibes.
Yeah. Jeremy Donovan is a great actor.
I love him. I love them in Burn Notice.
Yeah.
Burn Notice. Yeah. He's great in that.
No, and I think once as the movie played out, because initially when they're after the whole incident with like her and her partner at that when they discover all those bodies.
The guy at Get Out, right?
Great actor. He's also in Black Panther too.
Oh, that's right.
And they're sitting outside that briefing room.
Yeah.
And they're talking about like Kate and like all her accomplishments. Oh yeah, we like her. The other guy, like they're talking about his like kind of background and accomplishments. Like, and he has a legal background. It's like, oh yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
And it makes at the beginning I was like, what the? That doesn't mean okay. Why is that? And then it's like now as the movie plays out, I was like, oh, now I see why they didn't want him involved at all because of his legal knowledge. He would have caught on much sooner and may have not gone along and kind of blown the whole mission.
Yeah.
And it's this movie it's good. I really liked it. Everything about like the as we'll talk in the Sheridan universe, everything is very like kind of has this hopeless vibe to it a little bit. Like everything, all the cinematography is very muted. The colors are very muted.
The landscapes are very barren.
Yeah. It just feels like there's
feeling of desolation.
Yeah, like the people are like very questionable like characters.
Very dubious characters.
Yeah. Even like maybe outside of like Kate, like who she seems even her, she has like a little bit of a past and like she's kind of she's divorced, she's kind of on her own, she's alone.
Well, yeah, it's interesting though because like throughout the entire movie, the partner Reggie, he's always like kind of cracking wise at her about like her like personal hygiene or her sense of style,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
her clothing style. So it's a it kind of puts a spotlight on some of the things that are lacking in her life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but yeah, like all the other characters, like Josh Brolin's character, he's really sketchy. Yeah, and all those like Delta Force guys, like you don't honestly, I didn't trust any of them.
Yeah.
And then Del Toro's character, like he's probably maybe he's like I would say like the most straightforward character out of all of them. Like he's kind of
he has a clearest direction. He knows what he wants, and you know what he wants.
Oh, and speaking of clearest direction,
Yeah.
and kind of like one of the final scenes, like where they're going through and engaging in that mission.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else has kind of like the normal night vision, like whereas he has the infrared, like he sees the clearest out of everyone there.
That's true.
And I think that was they specifically did that because of everyone involved. He has the clearest goal. He knows exactly.
But he also has the personal stake in it, so that makes his vision like the clearest.
Yeah,
it's like
true,
he knows exactly what he's there for. He knows exactly who his target is, what he's trying to accomplish.
Yeah,
right.
But he also has like that personal element because he was so personally affected by this cartel.
Right. And the interesting element, I think it kind of it's a recurring theme. I think in all three movies, it's sort of the failure of law, the rule of law. It's the breakdown of the rule of law against a force of nature. Basically, if you look at Alejandro, he used to be on the side of the law. He used to represent the law and uphold the law. Yeah, that didn't work out for him, right? So he decides to go outside of the law, work outside of the law. Graver, he's supposed to be an agent of the government, but he works outside of the law. There's a darkness to it.
Yeah,
and I think with Emily Blunt's character, Kate, is it Kate?
Yeah,
Kate. She's jaded because she's being pushed to the limits where she's being tested. Yeah. She's trying to work within the law,
right?
But she's slowly starting to see that that's not how the world works.
But it's a very one of her bosses. I think a very telling bit of dialogue he says is it's like you're trying to work within the bounds. I'm trying to tell you that the bounds have moved.
Yes.
So it's like it's not as though it's this side. It's like the bounds go where we need them to be.
Yeah.
And then and it's no longer that basically it's not a black and white world.
Exactly.
It's like we'll move the boundary if it benefits us.
Yeah.
And then we'll make it legal.
Yeah.
Essentially. So yeah, very very telling.
And they're forced to do that because they're up against. I mean, it's easy to call it evil, but it's actually really just nature. The nature of man, how evil man can be. Let's say we'll call him the drug lord, Fausto, whatever his name is. Yeah, that's Alejandro's target, obviously.
Yeah.
And he represents that dark side.
Yeah.
Right. But he's also, I think, in a way, represents nature, because nature is about survival.
Right.
The rule of law is just is this human civilization that's trying to be held together. But he represents something outside of that, which is we just want to win. It's a jungle,
Right.
Nature, everyone, it's eat or be eaten.
Well, yeah, because it's like then you kind of like it kind of washes away some of the morality. It's like I'm not morality. I'm just providing something that people want.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not putting a gun to their head saying that you have to take these drugs.
Right.
I'm just providing them for me, and and I'm merely trying to defend. When a rival cartel or whatever tries to come into my territory, I'm just protecting what's mine.
It's business.
It's just business.
Strictly business.
Yeah.
See, I don't think this movie is also just strictly business too. It's a revenge film in a way because Fausto killed.
But then would that still
Alejandro's daughter and wife?
But that would still fall into the nature of man.
That's true. But it becomes. I think yes, he took what was his, but then he made it personal by killing the people that he cared about the most, his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
And it's like I think he cared more about that than necessarily his business.
Exactly. I think that's why for Alejandro that was the breakdown of this veil of the rule of law.
Yeah.
He realized then that this is not how this world works.
Right.
I have to become the animal. I have to become the apex predator. Just like,
and that's why
Fusto
he was willing, like, I don't care who I will kill whoever I need to kill.
And he becomes that when he does to Fusto what was done to him.
It's like we all knew that was coming, but then like when it happened, it's like, oh God, he actually did it.
That corner, and now he's just as bad as them. Now he's working outside of
but in a weird way, it's like the cleanest thing, because if what if Alejandro didn't take out his sons, then the sons might have come after him.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
So in a really weird, messed up way, it had to be done. It had to be done. It's the cleanest resolution to Alejandro's problems.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't quite understand is why like they kept coming back to this like throughout as the movie progressed is the character of Silvio. Like, why was he so? I mean, obviously he was important to the on the side of as far as like him being like a drug runner, but like I felt like they gave him way more screen time than like was necessary almost.
I almost felt like he was symbolic of the failure of the rule of law too,
right?
In Mexico's world.
Thinking about it, he seemed very much like an analog or the stand-in for like the fig leaf that is law, or like organized, like centralized, government kind of law. Because he wasn't just a cop for whatever town or province that he lived in. He was a federale.
He
was a state policeman. So, and and it isn't just like about like the big the big boys, the big fish that are the corrupt ones. The corruption goes all the way down to like the basement level that is Silvio.
Yeah, and I think there's a parallel to Alejandro's character a little bit too, because they both represent fathers who are, in a sense, failing. Alejandro, and I think that theme actually translates to all three films.
Yeah,
because Alejandro is a failed father, right?
Right, Chris Pine
is a failed father, and he's trying to redeem himself. And
Jeremy
Corey is a failed father.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he failed like in like the worst way a father could. Fail
against this force of nature, which is, I think, what the frontier really is. It's this force of nature.
Yeah.
It's outside of your power, and you cannot dominate it. It will always win.
Right.
And I think maybe that's what this whole frontier is about, that nature will always win. And we are not the apex predators.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. This is I wasn't expecting because I'd heard stuff about like Sicario and like it's like it's okay, it's not like the best, and but I think now like understanding when coming into this, knowing that it's part of this Sheridan universe, and obviously I loved Hell or High Water, which we'll talk about here in a moment, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot, and I was actually genuinely surprised. Like I liked it a lot more than I expected I was going to.
You mean Sicario?
Based off of like what like I had been hearing about it, and then I even heard like there is a sequel to Sicario, which is a very different movie.
I heard. I haven't watched it, but I heard it's really good in its own right.
Yeah, it is good in its own right.
But it's very different. I heard.
It's a very different movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was Sheridan's writing on that one too.
I think Sheridan wrote that one too.
Okay.
Yeah. But different director. I don't think.
Yeah.
This had a lot of Breaking Bad vibes to it as well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. That could also just been like the desert motif.
Yeah. I think the desert, but then like it is kind of a slow paced movie too.
Yeah. I think that's
and Breaking Bad is a very slow paced show, but it's slow paced in a good way. And because there's a lot of like slow, boring, you know, kind of like where it's just it takes too long.
Yeah, slogs.
But like this one, I didn't feel that way. Like, it was slow, yes, but it wasn't like, oh god, come on, hurry up. Yeah, I felt like it took the necessary time to let things sit, and like you're taking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think one of the problems for me about Sicario is, even though I watched it a couple of times, I still, for some reason, I wasn't able to get a handle on the movie.
Yeah, it's
you
hard.
know, it's
very elusive.
Well, and that's what I was saying is like I said, we are in the we are Kate in this
Right.
as the audience, and she doesn't have all the answers. She's not given all the answers.
Right.
And that's why like everything is kind of like mysterious, and we don't have a grasp on everything.
Mhm.
POV changes though, doesn't it? During the movie, it's Kate. We're Kate in the beginning, and then towards the end, the
It becomes
third
Alejandro.
act, it's Alejandro.
Yeah. Well, and that, I'm not saying like it's specifically like, you know, point of view, like it's mainly her, but like
No,
as
I
far-
know what you mean. Yeah, but yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
But I felt like that was kind of like why like we're not privy to all the answers. Like
Right.
we're not given like, you know, we're not a third person perspective seeing the whole story play out.
Right.
We're along the journey with Kate.
We're only given the information that
She has.
she has, and that's wanted to be given to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's why, like, yeah, it's hard to, you know, when you mention that, it's like, I can't get a grasp on this movie.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was what they were trying to do, and I kind of liked it actually. It's you know, it gives it a lot more mystery to it.
Yeah.
It's just hard because what was it? Yeah, I remember when I first watched it, I liked it, and then, you know, subsequent viewings, I still enjoyed it. It was just hard to try and describe this movie so I could sell it to another person to watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really what I meant about it.
I wouldn't have if I was gonna share,
because if I try to sell someone on this movie, I'd have to tell them the entire movie.
Yeah.
Basically.
I would say like because I would sell the whole trilogy, and I would say start with Hell or High Water. I think that's like of the three.
It's the most approachable entry point.
Yeah. Most accessible. Yeah.
And once you like you're hooked on that one, if you like that one, I think you'll give the other two a chance.
Yeah. Because they don't necessarily have to be watched in order because they're not interrelated.
Yeah, right.
They're anthologies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like any other like scenes or characters that, like what were there any other scenes or characters that like you guys want to highlight from Sicario?
Oh, I mean, I think that border scene, the shootout scene, is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch that scene over and over again.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah, I love the way that was shot, obviously, but the way it developed, that tension,
Right.
It was,
it's like
so on point.
Checking corners and
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh, car on the left, like, yeah, oh,
Yep.
I see a gun.
Yep.
And it's like it's and it's interesting because usually in like these high stress gunfight scenes, everyone's like amped to like 11, and they're on guard right away, and like they see a gun, they instantly react.
Yeah.
But this one was a little bit more controlled, and people were aware of the surroundings,
Mhm.
and even like they were calling out like, oh, we see a weapon, yeah, there's a weapon, all right, but they didn't immediately like get out of their cars and like start shouting orders.
All right, if they get out of their car, we're gonna get out of the car.
Right.
It's kind of like,
they had the rules of engagement and whatever, and it was a lot more tighter and sophisticated of a shootout scene.
Yeah, like I said, and that border scene it's kind of like I said, it's a western because they're all like everyone's at the ready, like everyone's got their gun cocked, ready to come out guns a blazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like but like I said, that tension is built.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Donovan's character, who
I
was great.
Yeah, he was so awesome.
And he's like, oh, I'm starting to get I'm starting to get a boner here. It's like, it's like why did you say that? Like, it's so.
Or at least, why would you say it that way?
Yeah, but it was so great. Him and I, we watched it together, and we both just like bust out laughing because it's just like it's such a great line.
Oh man, I'm getting a boner here.
And it's just because Jeremy Donovan, he's an underrated actor. He's so good.
He is. Yeah, I love everything.
He's done work. I mean, he was in that like Changeling movie with
Angela Jolie. Mm-hmm. Burn Notice.
Yeah,
Obviously.
Burn Notice.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was a dick in Hitch.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. I gotta watch
Yeah,
that again.
that scummy guy. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So he has range.
That's another common thing with the trilogy is that each one has its own great shootout scene, classic shootout.
oh
scene.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we'll probably get to it, but yeah, that's another.
Well, like I said,
commonality.
because like I said, it's that Western
Yeah.
trope. You have to have a good shootout
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
You have to get
Oh,
that.
yeah,
you have to build
have
up that
the
tension.
the
and then-
showdown.
the
yeah,
showdown. The showdown. Yeah, that's what it is.
Mhm.
And yeah, no, like you said, that border scene is probably like my favorite scene.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of like maybe the final scene, the final couple scenes with Alejandro, with
Yeah, just breaching the compound.
yeah, that was pretty good. And then him and Kate at the end.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very telling scene, especially when he says, "You're not a wolf,"
Mm-hmm.
and now we're in the land of wolves.
Right.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
I was,
I think that
anybody-
kind of sums it
Yeah,
up.
I was telling Robert about this,
Yeah.
and I was like, because I remember that scene. I remember watching it the first time. I remember watching the second time, and the subsequent times. But this last time, I think what Alejandro said to her, like, "Oh, you're not a wolf." I think that in a way that was a compliment.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, because he like said to her, it's like, "Oh, you initially before he like revealed stuff to her, it's like, oh, you remind me of someone, that I he didn't say love, but
his daughter. He reminded her.
someone
of his-
you remind me of someone precious.
And
then
that's
then when it got to the point where like the conclusion, and he's like, "Oh, you remind me of my daughter."
Yeah.
It's like, and it's like, "You're not a wolf."
Yeah.
And this now the land, and
But we live in a land of wolves.
yeah, but we live in the land of wolves, and I think, and I really think that was him complimenting her. It's like, yeah, I don't want you to be a wolf.
Mhm.
Since you remind me of my daughter, I don't want you. I don't want you any part of this world.
Well, and it's one of those things where like Alejandro like saves her in one sense, and then he's also willing to kill her, at the end too.
If need be, yeah.
In a weird way, it still lines up because it's like, because of the world that he has to live in, like, and to make sure people, that in a weird way, he's like keeping the peace himself.
Yeah.
And if, if Kate gets in the way of that, I think he does see it as like a mercy because, like, people like Kate won't survive in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of powerful scenes, and even like the between like Reggie and Kate too, they had their like powerful scenes too, especially like after like they were at when they were talking to all like the border detainees, like when they were doing the interrogation. You have where it's like, we don't have to do this. Like, we can just walk away. Like, it's like, fuck this stuff. Like, these guys aren't giving us answers. Like, let's just walk away. And she's like, and even at like the hotel, like when it's like, Kate, let's just walk away. We don't need to do this. And he's like, I need to know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's that curiosity. It's like, that curiosity is going to kill you. Like, get out of there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's because they need her more than she needs them.
Yeah.
But they knew that they could manipulate her curiosity because, after that whole thing that went down at the very beginning of the movie with all those bodies and stuff like that, it's like we're just chasing a phantom at this point. Like, we're just, stuff's gonna happen, and like we'll get to it like a couple months later, and like I said, we're just chasing clue after clue, and it's nothing. But now I have a shot at finding who the hell this bastard is that's doing all this stuff. And after because we start off with this one like crime scene that they're at, but like they had been doing this for months, and so it's just like you get frustrated seeing all those like bodies and just like the rampage that had gone on, and man, that it's like all those bodies that they found. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like it reminded me of from The Wire. Like there's a whole like season where they found all these bodies that like Stringer Bell and like all these guys had been stuffing in these crack houses.
Yeah.
And it's like that's where like shit really started to go down.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it's just a really just a very interesting movie. All the character connections, all the just the tensity of all the scenes. It was really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even then, you had how Alejandro like interacted, like getting answers, like where he fucked up John Barenthal's character.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, the best thing about like having the shit beat out of you is like no one's gonna notice a few more scratches.
Yeah.
And then the other guy that they
Interrogate.
arrested and interrogated, like I thought they were gonna like waterboard him because like they had that he brought in like that giant jug of
Oh
water.
yeah.
But then like the jug is just sitting there and he beat the shit out of it. It's just well, we don't see it, but like you just hear him like just getting his
Yeah, you hear
brain
the
busted
hard,
in.
like flat packing sounds.
Yeah. Should we do a Hello High Water? And
Yeah.
the other one?
It's
So
like
we can
I
all
don't have
kinda
anything else
talk
to say about Sicario
Yeah,
really at the
yeah.
moment, but yeah, Hell or High Water. Do you want to give a quick synopsis to that, Andy?
Sure, I surely will.
This is my favorite of the trilogy.
Yeah.
Mine too. Okay.
This is the most fun of the trilogy, I would say.
The most fun, yeah.
Yeah.
The
which
most
is really,
accessible.
which is
I like
saying,
Wind River the best as a film, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, this is
Hell or High Water is definitely the more.
Yeah, this is the more
Watchable.
fun, more entertaining.
Yeah.
Of the trilogy. Okay, Toby is a divorced father who's trying to make a better life for his son. His brother Tanner is an ex-convict with a short temper and a loose trigger finger.
God.
Together, they plan a series of heists against the bank that's about to foreclose on the family ranch. Standing in their way is Marcus, a Texas Ranger who's only weeks away from retirement. As the siblings plot their final robbery, they must also prepare for a showdown with a crafty lawman who's not ready to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, this is this is another great movie. I think this is the most fun of the trilogy.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Bridges is hilarious.
He's
in this
great.
movie.
He's so good in it. They're all really good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it is a slow paced movie in a sense. But I don't know who I was rooting for in this movie because you kind of want Chris Pine and his brother to succeed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you also kind of want the Rangers to succeed too, and it's kind of you're not really sure. You're torn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like what happened to the brothers, to like their dad was shitty, like Tanner, because of the abuse that like he kept showing to him, his brother, his mom. He finally just shot him to death, which is why he was in prison to begin with.
Yeah, that's right.
And and then like while he was in prison, like their mom got sick, and so their ranch ended up kind of going under. They did like kind of the whole reverse mortgage thing, and were kind of manipulated by the bank. And so it's like these guys are crooks. So you know what? We're gonna they're crooks. We're gonna steal from the crooks.
Yeah, and back with their own money.
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of a baller move. You're stealing money from the bank that's technically stealing money from you, and you're paying them back with it. It's kind of which is kind of a great premise. Like I feel like I want to say like that's been done in another movie, but I'm drawing a blank as to what that movie was.
Well, the only kind of similar motif I can think of is the Mask of Zorro, because in that one, the what is it? The antagonist, he wants to buy the land of California from Santa Ana, who's I guess in that movie universe owns all the land in California, but they're paying him with gold from California, like from Santa Ana's own land.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
Was that with Antonio Banderas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The so it's like you're kind of rooting for them, but
Right.
then
because, especially because this movie came out in 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
2016. Yes.
Yeah, but it's still such a relatable story, and like it's just little less than a decade apart from when the whole financial collapse happened in 2008. And so I think people are still feeling the sting of that, and so you have a story about these two brothers who, whose family, because of hard times and money issues, were put into a situation where now like that their family ranch, their family land was taken from them, but then all of a sudden another kind of golden goose showed up in the form of oil, them finding on the land.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like if they didn't like pay off whatever they owed for like the refinance or whatever, then
Then the bank would have
the
that.
bank
Yeah.
would come in and just take it, and then that oil and all that money would go to the bank. It's
Right.
Which I think was why the bank was going so hard after that land.
Right, exactly.
So you have that going on, but let me tell you, Jeff Bridges. Well, actually, I'll say this. I think this is probably Chris Pine's best acting performance I've seen.
I would say so. What else was he in that stood out? I mean, Star Trek, obviously, but
He was in Horrible Bosses too.
I remember that. Yeah,
he's
Pretty
actually good in that.
Yeah, he's got chops. There was a movie called This Means War. Do you remember that?
No,
with
no.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. That was actually a cool one.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Reese Witherspoon was the
Yes. She was.
But he's a good actor. But like this is definitely I think his best role.
Right. This really showed that he's probably underutilized.
100%.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely.
He's gonna be known
more
as
than a pretty
he's gonna
boy.
be known as the new Captain Kirk. But honestly that shouldn't be the only thing that he's known for, because he really can act.
Yeah, he can.
No.
I love Ben Foster. I love Ben Foster and everything.
Yeah,
but he was so good in this.
Yeah, he was good in was it 310 to Yuma, the remake.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like that, kind of like wild dog type of character, like just.
Yeah.
You never really know what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
He plays that type of character really well. Because Tanner was like really unpredictable, like kind of an asshole. It's like, dude,
loose cannon.
Even Chris Pine's here. He's like, you're a fucking asshole, dude. Like you're trying to get us killed.
Yeah.
But at the end, like you see, like what he's doing is like he sacrificed himself because he's like, I'm gonna die. I'm probably gonna go to. I'm either gonna go to prison or I'm gonna die. This is all for you, little brother. Like I'm gonna protect you.
Right.
And
he realizes that he already has the weights on him. Like he could never like. I mean, not that it's impossible, but there's no way like he'd be able to like crawl, get himself out of the pit that he's in. Like
so he just
ex-con, history of violence. So he knew like there was no like escape for him. There's no like happy ending for him. But like his brother, he has a kid. He has a legacy. So his brother had to be kept as clean as possible.
Yeah, and he has a good reputation too. Right. Mm-hmm. And so it's like he fell on that sword to protect his brother, which is really admirable in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, he's great in that role. But I had to say, like the buddy comedy routine with Jeff Bridges and
Gil Birmingham.
Yeah. It's just
such a great rapport. I love Gil Birmingham.
Yeah, so great.
It's like there's Jeff Bridges. He was such a jackass to him. It's like what are you like? You done with all the Indian? It's like, oh no, I gotta finish all my Indian jokes before I start get the Mexican jokes. Like I have plenty of Indian jokes left.
Yeah,
and it's just all the trash talking. It was just so great between those two. But I think there was a mutual respect because obviously there was love between them.
There was love.
Yeah,
true love. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, we. I think about that, like, Andy and I, we talk so much, trash to each other, but like, it's out of love,
of course,
because, him and I are like brothers. Kind of the same way I feel about you, Eric. We're brothers too. So, if I start talking trash about you, it's because I love you.
Oh yeah.
But no, their interaction was they were great as a duo. Same as like Chris Pine and Ben Foster. They were great. They were a great duo too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it was and like you feel that love between those two characters, and you're almost rooting for them too. Like it's just you want them to win. It's because this is the last hurrah. This is the last stand for Jeff Bridges because he's gonna retire.
Yeah,
and he's like it's like he needs like one last like something for him like to kind of call it a career. And that's why I think he's going so hard, and like even like they're like, dude, are you like you're like 2 days away from the rocking chair? Just give it up. It's like like we know like what's going on. Just don't worry about it. Just retire.
Yeah.
And so it's it's kind of like you would expect like in that final showdown where you think that Jeff Bridges' character would die because he was close to retirement, like but no,
right.
It's his partner who is kind of gonna take over that mantle of him,
which was heartbreaking when that happened. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, just so unexpected. You didn't expect him to die.
Yeah.
And at the most you think they do the Hollywood
Jeff Bridges' pain,
right?
Yeah,
but you think you kind of think it was like the Hollywood thing where like the bullets would land like right in front of them, like on the car hood, and like they'd be able to duck down. It's like, whoo, that was a close partner, that kind of thing. But it's like no, it's like in there right away, bam, and he was gone.
And it's like, oh, I mean, like, and the fact that it was pretty gruesome. Like his brains were spilling out into his
10-gallon hat. Yeah,
it's like fuck, dude. Like it's just you felt that one. It's just like
right. Yeah. And then also like that, after Jeff Bridges' character takes out Ben Foster's character, it's like that cathartic little break in his demeanor where he's like laughing, like because him and like one of the rancher guys is like oh yeah, you got that son of a bitch. It's like yeah,
he was like 400 yards away. That was a great shot.
Yeah, right.
It's like yeah,
yeah, and he has like that kind of like guttural like it's like so like his soul was hurting.
Oh yeah.
God, that was a rough. That whole showdown was rough.
That was yeah.
And then it's like and then at the same time Chris Pine, he's getting away from all of that. Like obviously he's injured. Duct tape his fucking wound together, which is insane.
That's probably the cowboyish thing that
and it's like you're rooting for him to get out of there and to get away.
Yeah.
And man,
when he gets stopped by the cop, that scene was tense
that was
too.
tense,
Holy shit!
Because he was like sitting there.
My heart was beating.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck.
The cop takes the license, like checking it, punches into the computer or whatever, and just like Chris Pine is just like sitting there hide his wounds, like he's essentially bleeding out. And, and it's just like a really tense moment, like the cops like with their hands on their guns and just like staring at him, just ready to draw down on him, just the moment's notice.
Oh yeah, my heart was pounding that entire scene. It was just like oof. Right.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. But my favorite part is at the end, like the confrontation between Jeff Bridges and
yeah.
That conversation.
It's like he knows that, like he knows what happened, like he knows that he's involved, but he can't do anything about it,
right? Because he can't prove it.
Yeah. And it's like, and he knows that he can't prove it. It's like, and it's like, well, and they have that thing. It's like, well, you want to continue this conversation at some point? I'll be ready.
I'm just up the road a bit.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes in the movie, though, like kind of talking about like kind of like one of the breaks of the tension throughout the movie is them in the diner.
Oh, the T-bone shop.
Yeah,
the steakhouse.
With that fucking.
What don't
waitress.
you want?
Yeah, what don't you want? It's like, I don't
That's a great scene.
It's like it's like well, like we only have this. Like so don't tell me what you want. It's like tell me what you don't want.
Either you don't want corn or you don't want green beans.
It's like, how do you want? It's like you'll take your steak medium rare. It's like, well, it's like no, you're gonna take it medium rare, and it's like, all right then. It's like, let me tell you what, no one's robbing this place. It's
so good.
Oh man, and then even like the scene of them in the motel room, like where like his partner is watching this like televangelists, these charlatan televangelists, and it's like, oh my god, can we not like watch this? Like, can we watch anything else? My dog knows more about Christianity than talk to God more than these people do.
Out of the trilogy, I think this is the only one that has brief moments of levity.
Comedy, yeah. There's comedy in this one.
Sicario is just serious
rough
all the way through. Wind River is beyond serious. That's.
Hell or High Water is a comedy movie compared to these other two.
Dumb and Dumber compared to that.
The other part was like as they're getting ready for the final showdown. Like they're in the truck. Like they start to gun it. It's like, all right, we need some chase music, and then he starts playing some like Christian like hit song. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, like turn the radio on, to another channel. It was so great.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was a comedy movie compared to the other two.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's why I like it a little bit, because there are those like brief moments where it allows you to like breathe a little bit. Like
there's a little levity.
Yeah.
Just the little moments of like decompress, and it's like, okay.
But this has definitely become one of my favorite movies. I don't know about the other two, but I will definitely come back to Hell or High Water.
Hell or High Water, I think I can watch again.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I've seen it about 3 or 4 times now.
Okay, I've seen it twice, I think. Wind River, I saw it twice, and I don't know when. I want to watch it.
Yeah, no,
but it's a movie that I would.
You got to really prepare.
I watched it. I was like, oh god, this movie's so. I don't watch this. I don't want to watch this movie for another 20 years.
Yeah.
And then I came over to Rob's house, and he was watching it. I was like, but luckily he was like towards the end. It's like, okay, I gotta get through the shitty part, but it's like, okay, fine.
Yeah, that part.
I was like, but then like having to watch it like at least that part again, like at the even that part, it's like
that part is so hard to watch.
So hard to watch.
It's. I don't really have anything else to say about Hell or High Water. This is. I was gonna say, if you're gonna watch any of the Sheridan universe, this is the one to watch. This is. It's tense. There's a lot of great scenes. It's funny. It's great. I would recommend. This is one that you can rewatch over and over again. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Jeff Bridges to me steals the show though. He's so good.
Him and Gil Birmingham, I think together.
Yeah,
because Gil was great too.
Gil,
he's
very
underrated. Very underrated.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know who that is, he's the voice of John Redcorn from King of the Hill.
Yes.
He was in what other movie? He's in the other movie that we're going to be reviewing, Wind River too.
Yeah. He plays the dad.
Yeah,
and he was in the remake of The Magnificent Seven.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was the other Indian.
He played the other Indian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Mr. Denali, I believe.
And apparently he's in. I never saw any of the Twilight movies, but he's one of the main characters there.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's what it said. What? And something we haven't seen yet, Yellowstone. That's the new Sheridan project. Apparently he's one of the main characters there, which would make sense.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out now.
Yeah, I really want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Some other notes about Hell or High Water. It was directed by David Mackenzie. I don't know who that is.
No, neither do I.
I think this is one of his first bigger pictures. But the music's by Nick Cave, which is great. I think he's the perfect fit for that. He also did music for True Detective.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That whole theme song is Nick Cave. And he apparently did the music for Wind River as well. And he also, this is another, no, it's not a neo-western because it's a western. Remember Lawless? Tom Hardy, Shia LaBeouf, Gary Oldman, Guy Pearce.
Like the Prohibition era.
Yeah. I gotta rewatch that. I haven't seen that for a long time.
That kind of went under the radar too. Yeah. He wrote that movie, Nick Cave.
Really?
Yeah, because he's also a screenwriter. Yeah, and he wrote that movie.
Lawless, right?
Lawless. Yeah.
I wanna rewatch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna write that down.
Interesting.
Some other notes about Sicario.
Yeah, Sicario.
Denis Villeneuve, he directed it, but then the cinematographer was Roger Deakins. Roger Deakins actually was the cinematographer for No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
1917 True Grit, he did that too.
1917.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Blade Runner.
He did the new True Grit.
Yeah.
With the Coen Brothers one.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a big collaborator with the Coen Brothers.
Oh, that makes sense.
He did Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Mm.
I mentioned No Country for Old Men. Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, which I thought was a great movie.
I have not seen that.
I haven't seen that either.
It's with Brad Pitt and Casey Affleck. Yeah, that's a good one. So yeah, that one, I think his vibe is totally the right vibe for Sheridan. I think.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, like it was. Now you're talking about these names. It's like, oh yeah, like in what they're connected to. It's like, oh okay, yeah. You see, like, okay, I see what their style.
Yeah, and I think this whole neo-western thing that we're talking about really wasn't started by Sheridan. I think the Coen brothers really kicked it off, or maybe even before that, Unforgiven. Because that
Unforgiven was like
a great movie.
Yeah, because there are as I've been watching these westerns, like, because I've been watching it like pretty much all of January. I've been watching westerns, kind of trying to, just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
And you see definitely like the classic westerns, and you definitely see the new westerns. Like Unforgiven is definitely part of that. Hell, Tombstone's like one of the new westerns. Like and then like this is its whole different genre of westerns, which is kind of like based off of the new westerns, where there's more of like John Wayne, like because he was actually supposed to play the Clint Eastwood movie. It was directed by Clint Eastwood, which is High Plains Drifter, which is kind of like it was kind of like the kickoff of this like new Western style, where it's like kind of the bad guy that's like also a good guy, but he's also still a bad guy. Which and they John Wayne is actually supposed to be in that film. Clint Eastwood tried to get him on there, but he was like, no, he is like, I don't want to play that type of character. That's like, where the audience should know like who the good guys are, who the bad guys are, and like kind of like what
so the morally ambiguous characters.
Yeah, he didn't think that having morally ambiguous characters was good. Like you should root for the good guys and despise the bad guys, and that's like kind of like what more of the old westerns are like. And then kind of Clint Eastwood is kind of that new Western, you kind of kick that off with the new westerns, and kind of High Plains Drifter is definitely in that like Unforgiven is like that, and then this is just kind of like another offshoot of that, and like it's become its own thing, but it's kind of like they said, this is a very morally ambiguous film, where you don't really know who you're rooting for.
Yeah.
And like the bad guys are kind of good guys, but they're still bad guys at the same time. Like you don't really know, like you said, you don't know who you want to root for. And
that's the thing, especially with Hell or High Water, they're not bad guys because they're morally bad.
Right.
They're bad guys because they're breaking the law.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes the rule of law doesn't make sense. It kind of clashes with forces of nature.
Right.
And that's what they're up against, and they have no choice. Their backs are against the wall.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of a recurring theme in the trilogy too. Yeah. Dude, man, that thing is kicking my ass. 10.4%.
10.4% for the Allagash Kuro.
By volume.
I've had 2 sips and I'm like ready for bed.
It'll knock you on your ass if you're not careful.
I don't know how I'm gonna. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a good one.
Okay.
I guess we'll. Any other notes or thoughts on Hell or High Water?
Oh, I just a couple notes here. I mean, I'll just share it. Title. We obviously know what Hell or High Water means by any means necessary.
Yeah.
But it also doubles up with with a sort of a real estate. It makes sense in real estate too. In certain leases and contracts, there's a hell or high water clause, which means no matter what, you have to make the payments. There's no excuse, and that kind of translates in the movie as well.
Right? Yeah, because it was the lawyer who said you better get that money to the bank.
Yeah,
by hell or
by
high
Thursday.
Water. By hell or high water.
By hell or high water. Yeah. Wind River.
All right, Wind River.
I need to drink. I need a sip.
Okay.
I will say that this is the best acted film. This is the best film of the 3, but it's rough. You have to be ready, like to
get ready to be depressed for a few days.
Be very careful with recommending this movie.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I remember I kept telling you guys, I don't know.
I mean, I remember you were saying how after you had your wife watch it, like she wouldn't talk to you for like a couple days.
She was pissed at me. She's like, "You got to warn me before you."
No, so like
you don't just have me watch something like that.
And we know everyone. I know your wife, and anyone who's watched the podcast knows your wife.
Yeah.
But after watching it, there's like no woman I would recommend this movie to.
No.
No way. I just can't do that to them.
Hell, I'm like, even though it's like Wind River's like, I want to recommend this movie, but like don't watch it. Like it's just that I don't want
to like some men I don't want to recommend this movie to.
Yeah. Only I think I only recommend to people like you guys who would appreciate it for its filmic qualities.
Mhm.
Oh
But
yeah, it's
a
a
rough
masterpiece.
watch.
It's
one of the best movies
Yeah.
made in recent times.
Well, and we talked about this in our actors list that we were doing.
Yeah.
But like this movie is the one that I mean Jeremy Renner I already liked, but this movie sold me on Jeremy Renner as he should be an A-list actor. How he did not win an Academy Award for this movie is criminal.
And we kind of talked about that. One of the reasons was it came out in 2017, August of 2017, which usually anything that comes out in summer or August kind of gets forgotten before the awards season comes around. But this movie was actually a Weinstein Company movie. It's actually, I think, their last one that was released.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just bad timing. And it's pretty much almost blacklisted at that time. So it's not going to get any attention. But they had to release it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
well,
that's very unfortunate.
it's very
really
little fanfare.
Yeah.
But it shows the acting prowess of both Elizabeth Olsen and Jeremy Renner. They're not just a superhero movie guys.
They're not the Marvel.
They're both
guys.
Marvel characters.
Yeah,
right?
they're both Marvel guys, and those two actually have great chemistry because even in the Marvel films that they're together with, like
Are
they're
they
in
together?
in
No,
Avengers,
like,
in Avengers,
it's more of like a mentor mentee.
in Avengers,
like
Age
big brother, little sister.
Yeah, in Avengers: Age of Ultron, like they have a great scene together, like where they really do have great chemistry together.
Oh.
And like seeing them together in this film, like where I really felt like they could really kind of they challenged themselves, big time in this role.
Yeah.
And they have great chemistry together. Both of them should win an Academy Award for this movie. And
they didn't get, I don't think, any award.
Yeah, no,
I don't even think
Any
they were
nominations for
nominated.
anything.
no recognition, no nothing.
Yeah.
Except for like maybe like the international
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah, I think it did get something at Cannes. At least Taylor Sheridan did.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I hope so, but like, it's like I really wish that people would see Jeremy Renner as a A-list celebrity because he really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Tyler Sheridan got a Directors Guild of America award
Okay.
for outstanding first-time feature film.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy. That's his first film. That's a great.
Yeah.
I mean, this really is like a Citizen Kane film for him. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won an NAACP Image Award for outstanding independent motion picture, even though it was tied to a pretty big studio.
Yeah.
Jury prize, something French. Un certain regard.
Well, I think that's a director award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
That's
Tyler,
at Cannes.
for Tyler
Right?
Sheridan.
Yeah.
Won a Satellite Award. Bandung Film Festival, or that might just be a nomination.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But stateside, nothing really. Huh?
Yeah.
No.
That's such a shame.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
Why don't you give the
politics.
synopsis of the movie real quick?
All right.
Andrew?
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me give
Yeah.
the quick synopsis of Wind River. Corey Lambert is a wildlife officer who finds the body of an 18-year-old woman on an American Indian reservation in snowy Wyoming. When the autopsy reveals that she was raped, FBI agent Jane Banner arrives to investigate. Teaming up with Lambert as a guide, the duo soon find that their lives are in danger while trying to solve the mystery of the teen's death.
It's a lot more than that. But
Oh God,
it's a
yeah.
lot
Like,
deeper
yeah.
than that.
hey, that sounds like a pretty good.
that sounds like a pretty good
thriller.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
I like a good murder mystery.
Right?
That
No.
is underselling it on.
That's
That doesn't even
that's nerfing the edges like
Yeah.
crazy. That is nerfing the edges
Oh,
like
man.
crazy.
That barely scratches the
Yeah,
surface.
you don't even know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's such a good movie that you want to watch again because of the performances, the lines, and that shootout scene, which I think might be my favorite of the three shootout scenes.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
maybe we'll talk about that.
We'll talk
fan-fucking-
about
It's
that.
so satisfying.
Yeah, but I just can't watch it.
It
Fucks you up, that movie.
that shootout scene, like, oh my God, it was so satisfying. It's like, because this is actually of the three.
Yeah.
You know who the good guys are and you know who the bad guys are. Like
That's true. That's
this is
clear.
kind of is more
Yeah.
of like has that classic Western feel
Yeah.
where you have like you know who you're rooting for. Like
Yeah.
these guys are bad.
In
Like,
a very
there's nothing
interesting
good-
way, it's kind of like the shootout at the OK Corral.
Yeah, very much so.
You're right. Yeah.
It
That
definitely
really
had that
is.
feel to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because the Sicario shootout scene, even though those are clearly the bad guys, there was no emotional attachment as a viewer. It's
Right.
like, oh, these are just guys
Yeah.
or gangsters who are out to kill these guys.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter. Hello, High Water, there's that. Yeah.
There's a little bit more investment because
It's more
like,
of a
you know,
quandary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
because you're invested for Ben Foster's character, but you're
Yeah.
also invested for, Gil and
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
Here, like, you fucking hate these guys.
These
you
guys,
want them
yeah.
dead.
Those guys are pieces of shit.
I forget, in the order of the movie, did the shootout happen after the scene?
Yes.
Yes.
Or is it before
It
the
was
scene?
after the scene.
Because
Because,
I know the scene happens in between.
because as she
It's a
like
flash-
No,
Flashback.
right? Because it's not until
okay,
it's not
so-
until they do the scene and then Corey calls down to the reservation sheriff,
Mm-hmm.
and then he shouts out to Jane like, "No, don't get away from the door." And then
Yeah.
she gets shot through the door, and then that's when they all like draw.
yeah,
down on each
because
other.
initially
Yeah.
there's that tense scene like where they like, why are you
Oh, that's
why
right.
are you circling me? Why are you
Yeah.
circling me?
It's like, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
And it's like there's
why you
like
on my
that
flank?
very tense like moment there.
It cuts to the flashback when she knocks on the door.
yeah, when she's
Yeah.
knocking on the door, that's when it cuts to
The
like the
John Berthal, the scene.
flashback.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that scene, I remember watching it the first time. I was like, I'm so confused because I thought it.
Yeah, me too.
You don't know you're in a flashback
Right.
until maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute into it,
Yeah.
and you think John Berthal is the bad guy that's
Yeah.
waiting inside.
Mhm.
That's what that's
Yeah, yeah.
what you're led to
That's
believe.
that's brilliant the way that
Yeah.
Taylor
Oh
Sheridan.
yeah, no, that was
played
like,
that
that was
out.
like I love
Mhm.
that he did that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And it takes you even when you realize it's a
Because the
flashback, you
whole-
still
the whole
are
movie-
pissed at John Bernthal for whatever reason. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think he's a bad guy. And it's like,
'Cause
oh,
you're-
he's not. A
Well,
bad
the
guy.
entire movie, that's what initially before that moment, they're looking for him because like, oh, he's
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
the
He's
guy.
suspect number one.
Yeah,
And,
but they had already found his body, right? At that
Right.
point.
Wait,
Well,
did they
no,
identify
they
it
did not
though?
find-
Oh, they didn't
No.
identify him. That's right.
They
Because-
found the body, but they didn't
Yeah.
identify him.
No,
That's
because
right.
when Jeremy Renner, he was away from those guys because he was still doing some scouting,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and he was the one that discovered his body, and that's when he's like, get away from the, it's like, hey, get away from these guys, like they, something's not right here, and that's when like,
Wait, was
all
it?
hell-
Was it a human body that he
Yeah,
found with
it
the mountain lions?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yep.
It
It was the second body.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
between the trees. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he finds a mountain lion den and there's like
Yeah.
a skeleton.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Matt.
And
Okay.
that was that twist was brilliant.
Yeah, the way he played that
I
out.
loved how that whole thing was done.
Yeah, and then that scene. Oh God.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. I don't normally cry during films. Like I don't have like a whole lot of like maybe my wife would be like, "Do you have any feelings at all?" It's like, well, I do. It's just like, but normally it's a movie. It doesn't affect me. Like
Yeah.
it's not real life.
Yeah.
But then this movie, like this affected me big time. Like
Mhm.
I
yeah.
mean,
It fucks you
Andy
up.
Dude,
saw.
dude, when I first watched it, I cried. I even when I
Yeah.
watched this scene again with Robert,
Uh-huh.
I got teary eyed. It
Which,
wasn't the
which
it-
scene?
Huh?
The scene?
The scene.
The scene,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't.
Well, the whole like I mean, even like at the after the scene and then like all the events leading after that, like
yeah.
it
Oh yeah,
was-
and then the scene where like Corey is with Martin, I believe,
Uh-huh.
Gil,
Uh-huh.
and there's they're in like the backyard and
Oh
yeah, I
yes.
was
that is a rough one.
like, that's a rough one.
And then the one where it's
him and Jane too, like
him and Jane
like,
when
in
he's
the
telling
hospital
her
room.
about.
yeah, and he's kind of like comforting her, and it's like
No, I was talking about when he tells the story about his daughter. What happened?
Yeah,
at
that
her-
too.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
Whoa,
I
that
mean,
was powerful.
I mean, all those scenes, I'm like, dude, like it's like Andy, it's like I need to go get a drink, dude. Like I
Yeah.
just I had to walk away.
I love the fact that in that scene, when he invites her into his house
Mhm.
and he says, "Do you want a drink?" It almost feels like it's leading up to like sexual tension.
yeah,
And there probably is because they're human.
right,
But
But
I love the fact that he just quickly cuts away from it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because in the moment where he says,
Right, I remember talking
"Would
to
you
about
like a
this.
drink?" Yeah, and
Yeah.
she says, "Sure." You think, "Okay, a drink."
Yeah,
he says,
it's
"Well, I
like
got
brown
milk
chicken,
or-
brown cow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he says, "I got milk or water. What do you want?"
yeah,
So, oh, okay, so
yeah.
and then they start talking about
yeah,
the daughter. And that whole story, the way he presented that, Jeremy Renner,
Yeah.
fuck.
And that's why he's so invested. He's like that you see like his because otherwise like I mean why is he really involved? Like,
Yeah.
and then it's like
But then it's also like he's also doubly involved because that was like his daughter's best friend.
yeah.
But he's seeking some sort of redemption because he had no control of this over the situation. He thinks he knows it's not going to fill a void because he talks about that with Gil.
Right. Oh my God. That first conversation.
He just learned to live with the pain.
Yeah. That first conversation that he has, like after like he tells like the news.
Yeah.
Fucking A, dude.
I know.
That was like, that's probably the
so
best
powerful.
scene ever.
Yeah.
Like literally ever. Because he's like, even though Jeremy Renner's character Corey is like this broken shell of a man.
Yeah.
He still is. He still tries to, what is it? Comfort.
You said it. You said it best, Andy. Jeremy Renner, Corey he is a man with no hope that is constantly giving hope away to others.
Yes, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Whatever little hope he has, he's just constantly giving it away. When he talks to Gil's character, and when they go to inform them of finding the daughter's body, or even what is it? Like at the end when he's at the hospital and and Jane was saying like, oh, I would have died out here. And it's like, no, it's like, you're tough. It's like, you're not lucky, and it's like, and again, just giving away the hope. And even at the end where he's like saying like, oh, well, you still have your son. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, yeah. And oh God, it fucking messed me up. Like, when he was like saying, it's like, okay, it's like, I'll go get him, but I need to sit here and miss her for a little bit. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. And the part where he talks about the pain, how you have to face the pain, because if you don't deal with the pain, then you lose all memory of her. Right. And the only way you can visit her is through the pain. Right. And he says, take the pain. Take the pain, Martin. I was like, fucking shit.
Oh my God. That is so...
in
terms of like advice, it's like, it's so true though.
Well, even in that too, like, because in a physical manifestation,
just talking about it makes me need a drink.
In a physical manifestation of that, like his wife was like cutting her hand with a knife, like constantly, like giving herself pain. And it's just like, man, it's just this. If you need a good cry, this is your movie. Yeah. I think this is the first time I've cried in a movie in a long time. Whoa. And this is a rough one.
It's probably one of the roughest movies I've seen.
It's crazy because this movie is so good.
It's so good.
I mean, don't get us wrong or nothing. This movie is great.
This is a 5-star movie,
and people should watch this movie.
Yeah.
But you gotta be
ready.
You gotta be ready. You have to be reinforced. You have to be girded. You have to be prepared for this movie.
I don't think you can prepare for this movie.
No one can prepare.
Something's wrong with you if you can prepare for this movie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And if this movie doesn't hit you, something's
wrong with you.
Yeah. And it's not like it tugs at your heartstrings, obviously, but not in a cheap way.
No,
it's not like Patch Adams.
No.
It's It's not a touching movie at all.
It's so visceral. It's so deep. And
you almost like, because I'm invested, because I love, like I said, I love a good murder mystery. Like, and this definitely starts out with that. Yeah. Obviously, it's like one, and it's like kind of a Western too. So I'm okay. That's cool. I'm there, and then. It's like you're involved, and like it's like you go deeper and deeper, and it's like it keeps getting darker and darker. Yeah. But like you're like, I need to see the payoff, and then like I said, it just like the rug keeps getting pulled out from under you, and it's like when you think that like there's gonna be some sort of like hope, or there's gonna be some sort of break in the tension, the rug gets pulled out from under you. Like, it just
and I think that's why that scene is. Like the scene where that we all fucking hate, but is so critical to the movie, is so painful because it's the only bright spot, it's the only bit of optimism and hope.
Oh, when they're talking in bed.
Yeah, when they're talking in bed.
That's the only time where there's any sort of hope,
and it lasts for 10 seconds.
And it's the only time where like the colors are like on screen, like the colors are warm and it feels safe.
That's true.
And and it's like they're planning their future, and it's like, oh, this is where we're gonna live. This place was so magical. This place was great.
I love the way you put that, because it's true. That's the only time in the movie anybody looks warm.
Yeah,
physically. Yeah,
that's so true.
And yeah,
and it's 10 seconds,
Yeah,
literally.
it's 10 seconds.
And then it all changes.
And then it's all gone. It's all pulled
and
away.
it happens so fast.
Right.
I'm like, oh fuck.
Mm.
yeah.
I mean, if you guys haven't figured it out, that the scene that we're talking about, it's a rape scene, but it's fucking
It's
sucks.
not. Yeah.
Well,
It fucking sucks.
And you could, I think in other movies like where like stuff like this is shown, it feels very exploitative. Like it's like when I think of like something like A Clockwork Orange, you could argue that that's probably very exploitative. Maybe you didn't need to show that.
Yeah.
This, I think, if that's
there's no other way around it.
There's no you can't avoid it in this movie in the way that the story is told.
Yeah.
And that's where like fuck, it's like I don't think the movie is as powerful or visceral as it is without the scene.
Yeah.
And
it's what makes it tougher to watch is you see it from the perspective of those guys. That's what makes it hard because you feel the darkness of them.
Right.
That they have turned a corner too, like we were talking about. They've turned a corner outside of lawlessness, complete lawlessness, and just inhumanity. They become animals themselves. They become wolves. They are wolves now, and they're just feeding on prey. Yeah, that makes it so much harder to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just had a
let's go.
realization.
I love it.
But when Gil, I think the character, his name is Martin. Martin. Yeah, Martin's asking him, ask Corey. He's like, why are you helping this FBI chick? And it's like, I hunt predators.
I'm a hunter. What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah, exactly. What do you think I'm doing? And it's so, I love how it's crazy. I love how Tyler Sheridan bookended this movie. The first scene is him killing coyotes.
Yeah.
And then the last scene for him is him killing all of those private security guys in a similar way as he's killing those coyotes.
Yeah. And going back to Sicario, him and Alejandro are very similar. They're both hunters. They're both hunting something.
Right.
Because of a loss. He became a hunter because of what happened. He used to be an outfitter or something, right?
Yeah.
He tells that story.
Like that,
And I think they're both very similar because they're seeking some sort of redemption that they know that they're never going to get.
Right.
Because even when Alejandro kills Fausto and his family, you can tell it didn't really.
Yeah, it didn't fill anything. It didn't
change anything.
It didn't alleviate any of the weight that was on his shoulders. No, it was just.
It just validated that he's also become a wolf. Yeah. But that's a good. I like your point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just really quickly then. I think I told Rob this, but I think this is the best. This is the best, I guess, translation for to men what the fear of women have. It's not necessarily that men are evil.
Yeah.
It's that
the potential,
the opportunity of evil.
Yeah.
That's I think that's what what. I mean, not to speak for women or nothing, but I think that's what the biggest fear of women is. It's the opportunity because, Natalie, she gets knocked unconscious, and then she's just there, and then they have Matt subdued, and it's she's just there, and then they're all, and then all of them are feeling it, and just and then boom, there. So it's
without
not
hesitation,
without hesitation. So it's not that it's not the belief that all men are evil, but men will act upon the opportunity to do evil.
I think it's kind of maybe this is cynical, but kind of jumping off that, it's also showing that humans by nature are just really primal underneath it all. And we have a very it's a veil of law and civility, but that can easily be ripped away.
Right. I mean, I think it's the metaphor that I like the best is it's a fig leaf. It's a fig leaf.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's a fig leaf. It's something that's it's supposed to provide cover, but it really doesn't.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that it doesn't, but everyone also pretends that it does.
Yeah.
This, like I said, all these movies are very thematically involved. I mean, they're like you said, there's lawlessness, there's there's the hunting aspect,
the failure of law.
Yeah,
And the failure of fathers,
That's true. Yeah.
which I think speaks to more of a
Yeah, 'cause
symbolizing generational
Even in Hell or High
failures.
Water, it's the same thing. Like the
again,
Yeah,
generational failure.
generation failure.
And even
that's
in
what
Sicario,
I think. That's why it's
Alejandro, the father,
he's a father. He failed.
he failed his daughter, the next generation.
Exactly, and that's I think maybe that's what the whole new frontier. The frontier is probably the next generation, but that frontier is also mysterious and maybe cannot be. That's what it is. You can't handle it.
Yeah.
And
it's the Wild West.
you cannot be dominated. It is the wild. It's a jungle. Yeah, it's the wild. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, just think, it's like I said, even us talking about Wind River, it's like I want to watch it again, and I almost like it's like, but this is a movie that like I have to like prepare myself for.
Well, I mean, now that you know, you can somewhat prepare, but it's like
I thought so too. And then the second time around when I watched it, I was like, okay, I know what's coming, but it still fucked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I was not ready for that.
Yeah. But I will say the ending though,
it's satisfying.
It's satisfying as all hell.
When Jeremy Renner fucks all those guys up,
oh
I was like,
yeah,
I know,
my
like
God.
that is very satisfying.
Right, the headshots and like bam, 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 bam. But then like the lead shit guy, when he's like, just be a man, just tell me that you did it, and then it's like, yeah, I raped her, and then it's like,
okay, I'm gonna give you the same chance.
yeah,
that
and
she
so
got.
like, yeah, he's like he's getting he's getting revenge, but he's doing it in probably the most just way possible.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the most just because he's like, all right, I'm gonna give you the same chance that she did.
Yeah.
There's like it's 8 miles. It's 8 miles to the road, and it's
if you make it to the road, you're good.
Yeah, that's how far that's how far she made it. So you'll have the same chance.
Yeah.
And then
and the thing that this is similar to Sicario, I think that what you're left with is a brief satisfaction, right? It's fleeting though, because you realize just because he got revenge on these guys doesn't mean anything changes.
Nothing
changes.
his family's not coming back.
Family's not coming in. Man's not going to change. There will always be guys like that out there.
Yeah.
The crimes will happen. And in Sicario, yeah, he kind of got the drug lord, but there's going to be another cartel.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the other
that
guy's
scene,
gonna come up and
and that playground scene, or is it playground or that at the park?
Yeah, like the soccer,
and then there's a shooting
soccer game.
Yeah, you can hear bullets rattling in the background. It's like it's always going to happen.
Nothing changed.
Nothing changes.
Alejandro took out that drug lord, but
it caused chaos.
Nothing.
It caused chaos.
Didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It may have made things worse because maybe that Fausto, like, yeah, he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
But like, because they kept referring to Alejandro as Medellin, which is a symbol as Pablo Escobar, and Pablo Escobar, yeah, he was a shitty guy, but he kept some sort of order.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like,
it's a power vacuum.
Once he was done, like it created this power vacuum, made things much worse.
Much worse. Yeah. Yeah. Man. Oh, Wind River.
Yeah, Wind River. Folks, it's a great movie. It's not great and it'll make you feel good.
Woo! Yeah, Wind River. Yeah, awesome.
It's just one of those movies that's done really well. The writing is great. The performances are excellent.
Yeah.
But
like I said, Jeremy Renner should win an Academy Award for this performance, and it's criminal that
he should have got
did not.
some kind of.
I know he got some
Elizabeth
recognition
Olsen too.
Yeah,
should have won
some recognition.
Even Gil Birmingham should have gotten something. He was. I thought he was.
Oh my god.
Supporting actor. Yeah.
Yeah, supporting actor, because his scenes were so powerful. It's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like it really got to me here when he was like talking about it, like his death face.
Yeah.
It was like oh, I don't even know what my death face looks like because no one's around to tell me.
That was the only moment of maybe a hint of comedy. Yeah. When he says, "I gotta go wash this shit off."
Yeah. That's right. I had to go pick up his son.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a sweet moment.
Yeah.
The second time around, I realized maybe you felt this way because you watched it twice, three times,
more or less.
Yeah. It really is a testament to the acting too, because if you listen to the words, it can be, if it's delivered wrong, it can be very cheesy. Especially Renner's lines.
1,000%.
It's like, this could be so corny the way he's talking right now, but the way he's delivering is so powerful.
When he was trying to relate and telling him like, "Oh, I went to like this grieving seminar."
Yeah.
And that scene. Yeah, that could have gone the cheese route so fast.
This is why I'm saying that he is an A-list actor.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this with Heat.
Yeah.
With when you're looking at the scene in the diner, when it like the initial version, it's fucking sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
But then you throw in Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, it's the most powerful scene like in maybe movies. Like it's one of the great scenes.
Yeah.
Same thing here. Jeremy Renner is an A-list actor that, like I said, you throw anyone else in there, it could suck.
Yeah.
But no, it's Jeremy Renner is delivering these lines, and they normally would be like, this is suck. These are terrible lines. But no, he's delivering them in a way that's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Well,
you feel him.
Now, given the subject matter of the movie, it kind of makes sense why they didn't really advertise it because of the scene. And with the the whole Weinstein thing,
I get it, but at the same time,
that is very unfortunate timing.
Yeah, it's a very unfortunate time.
But at the same time, despite that, I think this movie.
No, yeah, I'm still saying
it's not glorious.
Yeah, I still agree. It sucks. It sucks that this movie got canned because of the actions of some shithead.
Here's the thing though, because this yes, it's not no one's saying like woo rape, that's awesome, like no one's it's not glorifying it, and in fact it's talking about it in a very real manner, and it's talking about like how it like you said, it shows this is the best representation of the fear that women might have. This is a story that should be told. And the fact that it's the fact that like the Weinstein Company created was the producer of this movie, it's like it's kind of telling because he's pretty obviously a pretty terrible guy, but like this is like what Hollywood should be like promoting. It's like, hey, like this is I mean, I think the problem is because it's a very un-PC movie. It's not telling it in like a in a way that like a lot of
language and
exactly. But this is the movie that should be watched because it's powerful, because it's telling it's showing I think things in a real manner, and it's criminal like what happened, like that this movie like just kind of like. No one talks about this movie.
I got swept under the rug. But yeah, it was also highlighting...
Had you not talked about this, I would have never even heard of this movie.
Yeah. Or have you not pointed out that it was, one of Tyler Sheridan's works, then I probably wouldn't have made the effort to watch it. But
yeah, because nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah.
Hello, High Water, Sicario, everyone knows those movies. Yeah.
Sicario is probably the most well-known of the three.
I would say so, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the only one that got a sequel, so...
That's true. Yeah.
But but like Hell or High Water, like I'll talk about that till the day I die. I love that movie.
I love that movie.
But like Wind River it's the best of the three.
Yeah,
sure. 100%.
Yeah.
But it is
cinematically.
It's rough. You have to be in the right mindset. You have to be.
I don't think you could ever be in the right mindset for that movie. I
know you just have to watch it.
You just have to watch it. You just have to
watch it, and then you just have to
dive in.
Yeah.
Just dive in.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way to prepare for that.
Like
I mean, the best you can do is like you're about to see some fucked up shit.
Yeah. I would say like
it's not like a horror movie where it's like, okay, I kind of in the mood for a horror movie.
Yeah.
You're never in the mood.
You're never going to be in the mood.
I'll say this: you should do this as a double feature. Start with Wind River. Have a comedy or something like more light afterwards. It kind of is a
get a Disney,
cleanser.
get it,
and with Adam Sandler, Billy Madison,
Big Daddy, Happy
Big
Gilmore,
Daddy, exactly.
Anything, I mean, I mean, hell, it makes like you said, it makes like Clockwork Orange feel like kind of a nice palate cleanser.
I know, I know.
Which is a rough movie in itself.
That is a rough movie, but it's not as heavy as this one.
No,
I can't think of a movie that. To me, felt as heavy.
No, this
I can't think of one either.
Yeah,
this is probably the darkest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's. I know on like future viewings, it's not going to get any better.
No,
it's not be like, hey, there's a comedic moment. Like, there's no scene where like I'm like laughing. It's just but it's if you need a good cry, this is the movie to watch.
Yeah. It's
Good cry. That's a good way of putting it.
yeah.
Dude, I like seriously, like Andy was here, like he knew, like I was crying during this movie. Like it's just it's rough.
It's rough. Yeah.
And I like I said, I do not cry at movies at all.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I cry.
Yeah.
But this one definitely had me crying. There were key moments. It wasn't just like one scene.
Yeah. Man, but Jeremy Renner, dude.
He was great.
Dude, like
he is an A-list actor. I've
if
said
it was anybody else, I think this movie would be poor for it.
Oh,
yeah, I
100%.
can't imagine anyone else.
That's what I'm saying. Like this, as I said in our actor list, like Jeremy Renner is an A-list actor that he should be celebrated more than he is.
Yeah, he definitely deserves a recognition.
Maybe Sean Penn, only because they're very similar too, but also reminds me of Mystic River. Similar in the sense that they lost a daughter, the grieving father, the power of that. So I can kind of imagine him in this role, but I still think
I see. Like I said, I think they this movie was perfect cast.
Yeah. Perfect cast.
Yeah.
But like I said, Jeremy Renner should have an Academy Award for this movie.
Yeah, that's a crime. Yeah.
He is not a franchise killer. He's not just a comic book character. Movie. He's not just a comic movie guy. He can do it all. Like he's an action guy, he's a drama guy, he's a sci-fi guy, a fantasy guy. He can do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's another slept on performance of his? Kill the Messenger.
Oh, that's
Jeremy
a great
Renner?
movie. Yes. He's he plays the reporter for.
Yeah. For the,
I don't think I've seen that.
San Jose Mercury or
San Jose
whatever.
Mercury.
He was the one that was basically blew the whistle on like the whole
crack epidemic.
With the CIA.
Yeah.
And like
that story is very sad of the real guy.
Yeah, because they basically ruined his reputation and his career,
and he ended up killing himself. Yeah, he lost his family, and so sad. But he was he's really good in that. Holy shit! I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
I was like thinking about what other like good like kind of like drama things that has Jeremy Renner done. It's like, and then I just remembered, to Kill the Messenger.
Kill the Messenger. He was awesome in The Town. We talked about that earlier.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I totally forgot that he was in that.
Yeah.
But no, I've never seen Kill the Messenger. I think that would be something.
I think it's streaming now. I forgot. Might be Prime.
Okay, yeah.
Prime or Netflix.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But man, this was a lot of fun. Like we had, like I said, we the other episode we did was on our favorite actors list.
Yeah.
Leading men list. But this was
a heavy one, and also I don't think it helped that we're all in a food coma right now.
Oh yeah, we before the episode we all went to Tommy's
engorged ourselves.
I literally haven't had it in over 10 years, and I don't think I'll have it.
I had the mega combo. I haven't had that in like 5 years, and I ate pretty much the whole thing, and
Wow.
Yeah.
I know when you said that you're gonna get the mega combo, I was like, really?
Yeah. It's a triple chili cheeseburger, chili cheese fries, and a large drink.
Geez.
Man, I'm kind of regretting that now.
Yeah.
I'm beyond regretting.
Yeah, we're not young men anymore.
No. Even when I was younger, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, but no, it was. I'm so glad we went. It was fun.
Oh,
yeah.
This was fun, guys. I really enjoyed talking about these movies. Like, thank you, Eric, for bringing them up to us.
Oh no, thanks for having me.
Like I said, our Instagram chat should be its own podcast because
there's
we
some gems in there.
We 1,000% nerd out on movies and like everything.
This is only like half of what like we talk about in the the chat.
Yeah, like I mean, we throw out like these different like questions and ideas and like kind of like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, what's your top like favorite like scenes or like what's what do you like in the like these directors and have you seen these films? And like we talk about films constantly, and it's a lot of fun in our chat. Maybe
that could be a fun episode, just like a stream of consciousness, no structure, just start talking about
if you want, we could maybe just we could do something like this, but we could just do like a live stream.
I would, yeah, that would
That'd
be
be
fun.
fun.
I think
Yeah.
we could do that. Yeah, because I mean, when I'm with you guys, like I start talking about movies and like I could go for hours. Like,
Yeah,
it just
just go off the cuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's because even like I said, like I've been watching movies like you guys haven't heard of, and I'm like, hey, you should check out like this movie.
Mhm.
Like it's all. We were talking about our favorite actors, and like you said, like Red Sun. Like I would have, you would almost think that that's like some sort of like fever dream that some guy that was like high is like, hey, it'd be great having Charles Bronson and Toshiro Mifune in a movie. That'd be great, man. But no, it really happened, and it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah. Yeah. My list is growing, ever growing list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like these are our books. Everyone's like, oh, you have to read this book, you have to read that book.
We
It's
kind of got like a book club going here.
A little bit, yeah.
It's our movie club.
Yeah, it's our movie club.
And
Movie club.
no, Eric, you're a pleasure to have on
Oh, it's always
and to
fun
nerd out with, and
Come on, thank you guys for having me. Also,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
like I said, spending time with you guys helps me to kind of, get out my like, movie angst.
Oh yeah,
Like,
same
and,
here. Yeah.
Unfortunately, my
Pardon me.
wife is, she likes movies too. Like we have our things that we like together. But as far as like when it comes to some of these like classic movies or some of the more dialogue-y stuff that's kind of like more heavy, not necessarily her cup of tea. So it's kind
I
of
get that. Yeah. Right now, I'm going through a phase where I'm just watching silly movies. Like I can't do heavy movies right now.
Yeah. No, I mean
I want mindless.
like I said,
like
I've been
fun
watching.
stuff.
I've been
Like
watching.
I was
Western.
saying, it's like you sometimes just want to eat the Big Mac.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Tommies.
The Tommy.
Maybe we'll curb the Tommies a little bit. Yeah.
Like I said, I've been watching westerns all month. Like that's pretty much
Yeah.
my.
I'm like.
It's weird because it's like kind of like with food and diet.
Yeah.
Where like you sometimes you crave the thing that you're not getting.
Yeah.
So-
So I think it's a symptom of the lockdown.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've been picking out on, super bad Judd Apatow movies.
Oh, dude, that's
Adam Sandler.
Mhm.
Some of the old classics like Chevy Chase movies.
Mm.
Yeah, which I always love. I can always watch those movies.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, obviously we have our Tuesday live stream, so we have our themes going on. So I'm dealing with those type of movies that we for our themes. But then like I said, yeah, I've been trying to like get through like some of these classics. Like I mean, there's stuff that you're telling me about. There's stuff another friend of the podcast, Daryl. He's an older guy. He loves a lot of like movies and like. And he's telling me about like some of these old classics. Like, have you not seen this yet? Like like Cool Hand Luke and Dirty Dozen. All the, it's like he's like almost falling over in his chair. Like, how have you not seen this? Like it's like. So like I said, I mean he gave me this whole list of like just Jimmy Stewart movies that I haven't seen. I'm like, oh man, it's like he's done so freaking many of these. And because Jimmy Stewart's one of his favorite actors too. Like like I said, yeah, I talked about him as being one of my top 5 favorite dead actors.
Oh yeah.
And I mean he's been in so many things like I haven't even seen like that I'm looking forward to watching.
Mm.
And it's just like I said, there's almost just not enough time almost. But like
No.
and like there's stuff that like there's stuff that I know about that I haven't seen that I want to get to, and then like stuff like this, like had you not said anything, I would have never even this would never been in like my purview. So it's like I said I like bouncing out ideas off of you guys.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, but I also apologize.
Don't worry, I don't hate you for Wind River. Don't worry. Like I'm not like your wife. I don't hate you for Wind River. No, I'm very thankful you brought that up because that is it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It really is.
By the way, my wife, she loved the movie. She was like, "Wow, that was so good," but
She just hated
God damn, I hate you for recommending it.
Yeah, I hate you and I love you. At the same
exactly,
time. Yeah,
exactly.
So I loved it, but I hate you.
I hate you.
But I'm glad you brought that up because it made me appreciate Jeremy Renner for like he really is
He's-
an A-list actor. He deserves more credit than he gets.
Yeah. I heard he's a good dude too.
We always shit on Brie Larson on him, Andy and I, and
Why?
because first of all, no one likes her.
Right.
For
Oh,
one.
really?
Well,
Yeah.
because she brings it upon herself.
Really? I don't know
Yeah, and
much about her.
there's an because she's, I think, from what I've heard, she's
She's a
much
Marvel character too,
right. She's
Right.
Captain
Captain
Marvel, but she's
Although
on
there are
the-
rumors that she's being replaced.
Yeah,
Captain Marvel
yeah,
is a woman.
yeah.
Oh, see, I know nothing.
Yeah.
about
It
Now
was
normally
the-
it's a guy, but they
Oh.
cast Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
Well,
Gotcha,
no. Well,
gotcha.
they're following the comic trend where they turned her into a woman.
Uh-huh.
But like the comic book has never been successful. They've been like in like 5.
It's Marvel's version of Superman, in a
Oh.
way.
Is that so? That's different from Captain America.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
correct. Yes.
Mhm. But in the comic books, like in the past 5 years, it's
Uh-huh.
been rebooted like 7 times.
Oh, really?
It's not a successful property of
Yeah.
Marvel.
I see.
Plus,
And
'cause
but
they-
then so they brought in Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, and she is insufferable.
Uh-huh.
For one, she's not a good actress. She's an insufferable person on top of that.
Really? I don't know anything.
Yeah, and
I only remember from
If you
that
wa-
one movie, Room.
now, and don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even like kind of like the more liberal lefty type of like actors like Chris Evans, even he can't stand her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean it's like Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Scarlet Witch, they fucking hate each other. It's like
Yeah.
and even Jeremy Renner, like he did it in a very Jeremy Renner way, because he's a good dude.
Uh-huh.
But even he, like, because they were talking about like how this character like made me like a good person, all this stuff like that. It's like I think it's like you bring goodness to the character, and it's like, but like because she did it in like her very like kind of conniving, insufferable like
It's like
manner that she
uppity,
is.
kind of like I'm so
Yeah.
much better because I learned.
Really?
this
She's
thing.
like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh. I
Well,
don't
just
know.
like look up the interview, like her and Jeremy Renner, like his body language like reveals everything. Like he's not like she's like she's sitting here
Uh-huh.
and he's like kind of like talking like this way, like I don't think that the character should make me better, but I should bring the goodness to the character. It's like totally not like looking at
Engaging
her
her at all.
engaging her at all. Like,
Interesting.
it's like. Like when you talk to someone, you kind of can get the feel, whether they are interested or like about you, because they'll like turn and face you, face towards you. But then if someone like you're trying to have a conversation, and someone you're talking to the side of their face, you kind of get the gist like, oh, you're not,
Yeah, of course.
you don't like me very much,
Yeah.
and so that's like that's the entire interview.
Wow.
It's just Jeremy Renner just like. Yeah, I, just like answering questions from the interviewer. Like,
Really?
like with Brie Larson right here, just like not even like looking at her.
Huh. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's so I think he's actually a pretty good guy.
From what I hear, I mean,
I
don't know anyone that knows him, but
I don't
Right.
I don't really like, and that's the thing is like I don't necessarily really care about like their personal life. Like I mean, their
Yeah, I
personal
mean,
life
I
is
don't
their
care
personal
about
That's
their
true.
personal
I
politics.
don't. Yeah, like I hate to say this, but I'll still watch a Kevin Space movie, even though I mean what he did was fucked up.
Mm.
Oh,
I still
yeah.
think
He's
Kaiser
a-
Soze was
he
amazing.
is
House of Cards is amazing.
He is
if
a
you judge him based on his body
he
of
is
work.
a fucking great actor.
But he's a
Kevin
fucking
Spacey's
psychopath,
amazing.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. He really is.
Yeah,
I mean, and he does play. He plays a great bad guy.
yeah.
If you're looking for a good guy, Kevin Spacey, Pay It Forward. That's a great movie of his.
I never watched that.
No,
Yeah.
I highly recommend Pay It Forward with Haley Joel Osment
Mhm.
and
I-
Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt.
Helen
Yeah.
Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
and,
think I
a,
watched
and,
that.
a, and a pre-Jesus Jim Caviezel.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. That's also a good cry movie.
That is a good
American
crime.
Beauty. He was good in that. He was
No,
really a good
see,
guy,
like
right?
he was
Yeah.
great in that.
He was good in
The
that.
movie itself is not.
I agree.
good.
It wasn't
I
that
don't
great.
like that movie.
Yeah.
It-
No,
'cause
it's like, I remember watching it before as a younger
Mhm.
man. I was like,
I liked
oh, yeah,
it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Very.
And then
We
then
reviewed it.
Yeah, we reviewed it.
Oh,
It's
did
like,
you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this movie sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean Kevin Spacey's performance
It's
is spot
brilliant.
on.
But
But,
that reminds me of another person. I guess he's not a leading actor, so he wouldn't go on the list. But Chris Cooper.
Oh, he's
I
great.
love Chris Cooper.
He's a great
I was
character
thinking about
actor.
him too.
yeah. He just never plays a leading role, but
Yeah.
every role he does
Great
is just
character
spot
actor.
on.
Yeah.
Great character actor. Yeah.
Mhm.
Remember him in
He would be on my
Adaptation?
list. Yeah.
I don't remember Adaptation. I don't think. No, I didn't see Adaptation.
Oh, you didn't watch Adaptation? Okay, that's a great movie.
Yeah, but he's great. In
He's
that.
great. Yeah. Going back to the trilogy, I forgot. There's one note I wanted to just quickly talk about. I forgot. It's in my notes.
Okay.
How the trilogy progresses geographically. I don't know what this means, but or if it means anything at all. I just noticed that it progresses north.
Right.
It goes
yeah,
from
'cause it's
Mexico,
Arizona, Mexico,
Uh-huh.
and then
Texas, and then Wyoming, and it just progressively gets colder
Maybe they go with
Right.
and
Alaska
darker.
next.
Or maybe Canada. Maybe
Or
Canada's
Canada.
hell.
Yeah.
Hell on earth. It's hell on earth.
Canada.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. If it triggers
Or
anything
maybe
for you
just
guys.
maybe just extreme environments.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like desert. Texas is technically a desert.
Desert, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then the cold.
And then the tundra.
I mean, the plains, like which it turns into like tundra,
Yeah.
almost like it's essentially another desert.
Yeah, clearly the setting is the metaphor for the frontier.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it really represents power of nature.
It's God damn, I could talk about like movies for like 100 hours with you guys.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's we'll definitely do another. I have so many like ideas that I want to like of like movies that we should do. Like we've done like a bunch of like movie versus movies. I have a few ideas that we should do together. And we'll do more of this stuff. Like this is so. Yeah. For the audience out there, I highly recommend the Sheridan universe. Wind River, you're not going to be prepared for, so just dive in. It's the best acted of all of them. But if you're looking for like something a little bit more fun, Hell or High Water is the one that you should watch. But watch all three of them back to back to back.
Yeah.
It's and you can we obviously, like, if you didn't notice, we have a very thematic beer selection here. We have our Pacifico for the for Sicario. Well, normally there's Hell or High Watermelon, which is a summer beer that 21st Amendment Brewery does, but we found Hell or High Mango.
Yep.
So there's that for Hell or High Water, and then for Allagash River Trip for Wind River. So if you guys were wondering about our beer selection. Creative. Yeah, this actually was. It kind of came together last minute. We were getting some drinks for the podcast, and it's like this is coming together thematically for what we're talking about.
Those two are right next to each other.
Yeah,
on the shelf, which is weird.
Exactly. Yeah. So it kind of worked out.
Oh.
And then, but yeah, no. Watch these movies. Tell us what you think about them.
Before we go, sorry, I don't want to drag this on too long.
No.
You said
Eric,
the Sheridan universe. Is it a universe?
Well,
do they know each other? Is this happening at the same time?
I would say that they're happening because they're all different parts of the country.
Yeah.
So I could see them happening at the same time. Because it's the.
Does anyone know each other? Does Jane and Kate?
Right. I was just thinking about that. Yeah. Do they know each other?
That would be interesting. Maybe
they went to Quantico together.
Yeah.
The FBI Academy.
Maybe she was the one that was supposed to come, but she didn't.
Right.
Because
who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
I really do believe that there's some sort of maybe if like he makes more movies, maybe there is a connection that they make.
Maybe there's some connections in Yellowstone. We got to watch Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, I think that might.
That's Wyoming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
which
knows?
Again, the show Yellowstone, which is also Taylor Sheridan project.
Yeah.
And the reason I call it the Sheridan universe is because, I mean, like I said, the cinematography is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
The themes are very similar. And you have like a lot of like similar characters, almost like kind of like these characters that are caught up in like what we've been talking about. And
that's why it's the trilogy.
Yeah. So this like I said. Don't worry, Eric. You're never taking up my time like on this stuff. Like, don't worry about that.
Eddie, you look like you're about to say something, or something's coming to you.
Oh, no. I was just I was trying to see if there was any parallel because if anything, Hell or High Water is kind of like kind of the uneven brick
between the three.
Yeah, between the three.
Yeah, you're right.
So
why would you say that exactly?
Well, because it happens in Texas, and it doesn't involve necessarily the federal government, which both of the first other two.
Okay, I see that.
So that might be like the one like odd brick out, I guess.
I agree. Sicario and Wind River have a lot of parallels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. Hell or High Water kind of sticks out.
Well, and like I said, it's the only one that has some sort of comedy element to it.
Yeah.
It's
the most watchable.
Yeah, it is. The
Yeah.
most watchable.
Yeah.
like I said, I'm Hell or High Water. I will watch that movie like over and over and over again.
Yeah, I can watch
so
that
good.
over,
yeah.
Wind River too, but no, just can't.
I just
Yeah.
You know,
That might be like
maybe with a bottle
I
of
want
bourbon.
to. Yeah,
I can watch it with a bottle of bourbon.
and a sharp knife.
or an Allagash Curo like that. That might.
There you go.
Yeah, but I wonder. Yeah, that'd be another angle to kind of approach it from if there is a parallel universe in there.
But that would be yeah. Like I said, it's a great trilogy.
Yeah.
Check it out. Don't just take our word for it. Watch it for yourself. Tell us what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the old reading rainbow. Don't take my word for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's watching Rainbow.
Yeah, watch it.
Although we don't have quite the same charisma as LeVar Burton.
Yeah, but who does?
There was what was it? There was another. He's speaking of LeVar Burton. Sorry, one last tangent before we head out. So I was doing some research on Steve McQueen yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of because I was looking up like some of his movies and I was watching some trailers for some movies I haven't seen of his.
Mm-hmm.
And his last movie was called The Hunter, which was in 1980. I was like, what the hell? Like, why was that his last movie? He's like, oh, because he died in 1980 because he died of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But LeVar Burton is in his last movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think they're like partners or something in that movie. I've never seen it, so I don't know. The trailer looks so bad, but I Steve McQueen, like, it has to be good.
Yeah.
I can't think of a bad Steve McQueen movie.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check that out. But LeVar Burton's in it, so who is a fairly good actor. Like, he's been in a few good things. Roots. That may be a movie.
Star Trek.
Toby.
Yeah.
Kunta
LeVar
Kinte.
Burton in Star Trek Next Generation is amazing.
Yeah, Geordie LaForge, yo.
I've never seen any Star Trek.
What?
Not a single episode. I don't even know what it's about, really.
Dude.
Outer space, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Dude, watch the original series.
Yeah, I can't. I'm just not. That's just not my thing.
You know what? I'll say
Space, it's space communism.
No, so I'll say this: like, watch the original series because it's.
I can't even do Star Wars.
It's
I've never finished a Star Wars movie. I can't sit through it.
okay. First of all, we're doing an East versus West review, so you have to watch at least the first Star Wars, and Hidden Fortress together.
That's why I'm like, I don't know if I can do that episode.
Okay, well then we'll force.
We're only asking you to watch the one.
The one, okay.
How about this?
Yeah,
We'll force you. We'll strap you down, and you'll watch.
Or
the
yeah,
first
we'll
one
do.
with us.
Okay, we'll watch it together. We'll watch Star Wars.
The first episode,
Yeah,
or
New Hope.
New Hope, which is the
the
first
very
one,
first
but
one,
it's
yeah.
episode
Yeah, it's
4.
the first one, but it's episode 4 in the.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch
chronology.
the entire Star
My
Wars.
kids were explaining that to me. I was like, okay.
Okay. It's like you get it, and
No.
yes.
No, I'm gonna just
So
go
how
back to
about
Big
this?
Daddy.
We'll do a movie viewing. We'll watch Hidden Fortress, then we'll watch New Hope.
Yeah.
So excited, folks.
I was like,
so
I'm in for Hidden
excited.
Fortress. I might have to leave, during
I know,
the,
I was like, oh, look at the
during
time.
intermission.
It's like, oh darn! I really wanted to get to that Star
God,
Wars.
really, yeah.
But no, I would say, like, if you're gonna watch,
Can we watch Spaceballs instead?
I mean, we could. I haven't seen that in years.
That's a great one.
Not my favorite Mel Brooks film. That's
Not my
probably
favorite.
going to go to the producers.
Mm.
Maybe Young Frankenstein would be the other one. It's hard to choose between
Yeah.
those two. Anyways, that's the episode, folks. We're definitely diverging into some like other tangents on movies. Watch the Sheridan universe. It's great. All of them are good in their own way. They're all they're not necessarily connected, but they're thematically connected. And that's my wife. It probably like clapping to some like Korean comedy stuff.
Or she saying, "Thank God it's over for us."
Yeah.
And I'm
Finally over.
like, finally.
Oh my God, I can climb on Andy now. She loves Andy.
Wow, that was
Maybe
another
you
2
shouldn't have
hours.
worded it that way.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, bro.
Like a brother.
Anyway. Yeah, we all crawled on our brothers.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's another 2
That's
hours.
crazy.
God.
Just
Anyways,
happens.
it's not like I'm happy. Like
Yeah.
Eric. Yeah, I could spend hours and hours
I
with
could
you.
too,
Like,
yeah.
anyways.
Not tonight, but
Not no, but thank you for. I know you're busy. Thank you so much for coming.
No, thanks for having me.
Where
It's
can
always
people
fun.
reach you? By the way.
You can reach me at Eric Nam LA, ERICNAMLA
Awesome.
on Instagram.
Yeah, and if you want to reach us for. First of all, watch our other episodes. We have plenty of other content, like our whole library of live streams that we've done. We do movie reviews every week on Tuesdays for Nocturnal Transmissions. We have switched from 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So come and join us at 6 o'clock. Interact with us. We do answer, if you're going to chime in, we do answer to people, talking to us. And, we have a whole library of other episodes for this show, Circle of Jerks podcast. And if you like old gaming shows or, watching people play old games, we can watch Up by Up Down with me. You can follow us on our social media accounts, Twitter at PodcastCOJ. If you want to kind of see like a small summation of our movie reviews, go to Letterboxd at PodcastCOJ, follow us on that. And then on Instagram, we are Circle of Jerks Podcast. And yeah, you can interact with us on any one of those.
Can I plug one more thing?
Yeah, of course.
An upcoming podcast Sandy knows about. It's called Back to the Valley.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I should have
No, I totally forgot about it too.
Yeah.
No, I forgot about it too because it hasn't launched yet, but it will. It will sometime this year.
Sometime.
You do have an Instagram to it, though.
I have an Instagram to it. Please follow it.
What's the Instagram for that?
I have all the branding, everything.
What's the podcast? What's the Instagram for
It's just Back to the Valley.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a logo. I have everything except the podcast. But I have guests lined up. It's a COVID thing. I can't get into because I turned my office into a studio. But right now we're not allowing visitors or guests.
Right.
Yeah. So as
Makes
soon
sense.
as that opens up,
Mm-hmm.
we'll start
And
going.
we've talked about doing some stuff with you on that too, I think.
Yeah. I would love to have you guys on. Because I'm just going to share stories about the valley.
Well, we can do very valley based movie stuff or
that'd be fun too.
Talk about locations that they filmed in the valley.
Yeah.
I think that's
I would love to do a field trip. Just kind of drive around and visit those places, like the house for Back to the Future.
Right,
Arleta, yeah. The Karate Kid stuff. That can be a fun one.
Yeah, go visit the dried up Chatsworth Reservoir where they shot the lake stuff.
Yeah. A lot of the Chinatown stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
There's so many, cool places in the valley.
So, yeah, let us know when you get that. When you get
I
that
will.
up,
I'll keep you posted.
We will plug the shit out of that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The shit out of it.
Yeah, so that'll be coming soon.
All right. Well, that's the episode, folks. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the next episode.
Deuces.